Good morning. Today we are doing a tea towel. This fabric is by Jill Finley of Riley Blake, and it's called Sunny Skies. I can never remember names of stuff. Too much fabric. And she gave me all these fat quarters. They're absolutely beautiful. Blues, yellows, greens, white, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So I thought I'd do a tea towel with my 3/4 inch scallops, which will be 20% off, with also the push will be 20% off. And so what I did, Lindsay put the little how to do it on Facebook. Please make sure you comment, share, and subscribe. And there's a $5 off coupon also that's going to be this week for whoever wins. So what you do is, these are obviously fat quarters. So the bottom is 5" by 20.5 because my tea towel is 19.5 by 26.5. So I added 1 inch so I could fold it in a 1/2 inch on both sides. This part is 3 inches by 20.5. Then you have to cut 2 1-inch strips by width of fabric, which is that quarter, for your little binding bias strips, okay? Then you need 2 3¼ inch strips for the 3/4 inch scallop rulers. So the first thing you want to do is make your scallops. So you'll take the 2 3¼ inch piece of fabric, right sides together. You trace around your ruler, mark your endpoints, mark your centers. Then what you do is you drop your stitch length to a 2. Use your 1/4 inch foot, and this is going to be your guide. You sew around your curve. That's going to be your guide. When you get your end point, you do 1 stitch across, 1 stitch across. Then you cut it 1/8 of an inch from your sew line. You cut through the center, and then you use your pusher. This is heat resistant, and you can use your iron, and then you push it. I cut these in half, but don't cut them in half until you're done doing both sides, because it's a lot easier to hold on to it than cutting it in half and then pushing it through. So I cut it in half. I found my center of all of these, and I put this on this, my scallops on it. Now what I'm going to do is put right sides together, and I'm going to sew this on here. I do always wash my towels because they always have shrinkage. And then I just iron them and spray them. And my kids always knew not to use my decorative towels in my bathrooms and whatever, because you just didn't. You know how that goes. They knew not to use my sewing machines. Lindsay could, but nobody else would touch them, or my scissors, or my hair scissors, or any of the above, because they would be dead meaty. Then you just sew it 1/4 inch all the way across. Let me move this out of the way. It's really cute. The fabric is just really happy. Let me move my little laser light just a little over. Because you're going to fold them in, don't worry about back stitching or anything, because it's going to be all enclosed anyways. I cut my threads, and then what I got to do is, I'm going to put this over here because it's going to drive me nuts. Just fold this up, and I'm going to iron it. And you don't need to top stitch at this point because you're going to put the bias tape across it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Then you want to take the top and you want to do a 1/4 inch all the way across. And just by guess it, because you're going to put a bias tape on top of that too. So when I was making this, I had 2 scallops on it. And I thought, it looks a little much. So I cut it down to 1. So I sent it to Lindsay. What do you think? Because I can get a little wet and wild. So make sure you comment $5 off and order this week 20% off. Next week also, Lindsay has got swim meets all week. I am going to do a fabric sale and 20% off of all of the fabric. Normally $3 a yard, so it would be $2.40 a yard, which is a fabulous deal. So you want to put this on the end that doesn't have the little tag. So what I need to do is fold the sides in. And I already have it. You'll know exactly where to fold it in because I've already measured it, and I got to put it where my scallops are, and I've got the top folded, so it's going to have to go like this anyways. And then I'll check the other side. So there we go. And let's check the other side. Yep, perfect. Just fold it in where the scallop ends. It'll be just right. Then what I'm going to do, so it's got a perfect bottom, is I'm going to take this and I'm going to sew it along the end and do a 1/4 inch seam. So it's got a perfect, when you flip it over, it looks just perfect. So I thought, why not? Just make life a little easier. I'm always into making life a little easier. Then I'll sew it a 1/4 all the way across. Everybody watch Bridgerton? I watch Bridgerton. Because I have been sewing a lot. And yeah, that was really good. It was very sweet.
2 years for the next one.
Then Lindsay said 2 years for the next one. Who's supposed to be in the next one?
I haven't announced it yet.
You don't know who the hot couples are?
So they're still writing it.
So they're not going to follow the book at all?
I don't know.
Then I need to iron this. So then it's a perfect seam all the way there because I'm thinking, how can I make this so much easier so I don't have to work hard? And it'll be a perfect when it's done. That was my thought process anyways, guys. Okay, then I'll just put clippies on the side and we'll sew that. And I'm going to take pins and go across the top to make sure that it's just right. And I'll just sew the sides and the top, and then I'll put on the bias tape. And then I will be fun and done. And I use the 1/2 inch, so you need a 1 inch strip. And here's my 1/2 inch bias tape maker. So you got a double. And I don't do it on the bias, I do it straight of grain. Especially when I'm using fat quarters. Okay. Then I'll just sew. I changed the needle. I'm using a 15 because this is a lot to go through. I got 90 needle. This is a lot of fabric to get through. This is why I don't use pins as much. And we'll go across here. You could do this for any holiday. That's the cool part. 4th of July is coming up. What, halfway to Christmas already? Oh, shoot. Makes me think, holy crap. next week is a fabric sale, and you get 20% off. So it will be $2.40 a yard, which is a really good deal. Okay, let me cut this. I gotta change my thread. Yep, I got it on that side, and I did get it all the way on this side, so we're good. Okay. So here's the bias tape. I got it all done. You just run it through. You've seen me do this a million times. Let me iron it because it's really stiff because I used a lot of spray starch on it. This is how my grandma used to have us do my dad's handkerchiefs and his shirts. Could have stood up on their own. Okay. So let me put some glue so I can fold it over. And make sure there's no raw edges showing here. Make sure it's in. Iron it. And then I'll just put this on top and I will glue this all the way across. Cut this off, then I'll fold it in again. Is July 4th next week? When?
The next week.
Next week. Time flies so fast, you guys. It just does. Remember when you were a kid and it just didn't go fast? You thought you'd never grow up? And summers went so slow and you'd go, oh my gosh, I gotta get back to school. And now it's like, it goes so fast. And all of a sudden you have a 21-year-old granddaughter. 18, 16, 5 and 3, almost 3. Make sure I don't get it on that. There we go. I finally changed this yesterday. This glue. I'm telling you, it's like either I'm really not bright, or it's harder than I thought. But I finally figured it out. I just kept buying new pens, but I had refills, so I thought, okay, you got to figure this out. So I finally did. So I was glad. I made it harder than it was. Oops. Got some glue on that. Now let me iron this. Make sure it stays on. I think this is up a little more than it should be. Yeah, that's better. I gotta change thread. Change my foot. I gotta put on my favorite foot in all time. It's the one, I call it the rudder foot, but it's not. Oh, I tell you. Just have the right color. This is a simple gift. Very, very simple. And Lindsay doesn't want one.
My cabinet's full.
What'd you say?
My cabinet's full.
Her cabinet is full. I'm a person of excess, and Lindsay's a person of not excess. So we're total difference. But you can always come here and get the stuff here, so she's fine with wine. Oops, that didn't go in so hot. There we go. And I move it over to a 2. I'll do, yeah, let me go 2. Change stitch length to 3.5. Got my stiletto, and we are all setty, girls. This one because it's on the same side, and then I will flip it. Move my foot over, it's gone too far up. There we go. Nope, it's not moving. There we go. this I concentrate more on. Because this has to be just right. And then we'll flip it. Get this just right. And we do one more and we are finished. This is a really easy project. And cute, good for a wedding shower, good for anything. Christmas towels, Halloween. Oops. Cut the threads and we are done. So voila, you got a cute little tea towel. The winner today, $5 off their order. Just send your email address to quickpoints@gmail.com and Lindsay will give you a code. Is Francis Zaro. Congratulations for winning. Thank you for watching. God bless all of you. Love you guys. And we will see you in 2 weeks and I'll have a fabric sale. Pre-recorded with 20% off all fabric. Thank you.